James Gunn's DCU slate beyond Superman might be in trouble if new report about HBO's resistance to his ideas are true. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. James Gunn has been handed the keys to the DC Universe alongside Peter Safran. The filmmaker is directing the upcoming Superman movie, starring David Corenswet in the titular role. However, Gunn is also overseeing the development of several other projects in the rebooted DCU. Director James Gunn has been tasked with launching a new era of the DC Universe, with the upcoming Superman movie serving as the first major entry in a brand new franchise. As Superman gears up for a release this summer, Gunn has already planned a slate of movies and shows to follow. According to a reputed industry insider, Gunn's plans for the television side of things might hit a major roadblock. The insider suggested that HBO, the network expected to carry most of DCU's television slate, might not be interested in Gunn's TV projects, and here is the latest on Gunn's DCU future beyond Superman. During a recent episode of the Hot Mic podcast, insider Jeff Snyder revealed that he had heard rumors of HBO not being interested in some of Gunn's DCU projects. "I'd heard something about TV shows and HBO blocking Gunn's ideas for TV shows." Snyder made the above statement, suggesting that HBO's autonomous practices might be conflicting with Gunn's plans for an interconnected DCU. As a result, Snyder believed that many of Gunn's proposed DCU TV shows might face some resistance at HBO. Some of Gunn's planned projects were expected to be big-budget, prestige TV shows that would air on HBO, along with a streaming release on Warner Bros. Platform Max. However, new reports suggest that all might not be well behind the scenes. During the same episode, Snyder also shed some light on what's going on with Superman behind the scenes as the movie is less than 2 months away from release. The insider revealed that test screenings for the movie had taken place, producing mixed results. The reports of HBO moving to block some of Gunn's DCU TV shows are surprising, especially since the network is already expected to carry the in-production Lantern show, which stars Kyle Chandler and Aaron Pierre in the lead roles. Like they are tinkering with things, they are restructuring things with Superman specifically. Snyder made the above statement, revealing that the movie's more episodic structure was allegedly being undone during the editing process. Furthermore, the insider also alleged that a new editor and music composer were brought in, along with a week's worth of reshoots, all suggesting that the movie's structure was being morphed. The biggest takeaway from Snyder's comments about Superman test screenings was that the movie was reportedly being changed during the editing process. James Gunn's vision for Superman, as pointed to by his source of inspiration in Godzilla -1, is very different from that of Zack Snyder. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. James Gunn had a lot to say about what the key inspirations were for his Superman film. Gunn's Superman is already being considered to be portraying a new light on the fan-favorite Man of Steel. Audiences are already happy to see Superman in a less serious light, believing that he could finally become the symbol of hope that he is meant to be. James Gunn's Superman has a lot riding on it. It's the opening to the second chance that WB has taken with the DC IP. It's a bid to launch a cinematic universe that can mint money like the initial phases of the MCU. While there are a slew of fans who believe WB simply snubbed Snyder and that the director could have done a lot if there was some creative freedom for him, Gunn's inspiration seems to be pointing toward a wholly new direction. In an interview with the Japanese outlet Cinema Today, Gunn revealed that one of the key inspirations for the Superman film he was making was Godzilla -1, a Japanese production distinct from WB's MonsterVerse, which received a lot of appreciation for balancing its kaiju plot with the human drama of the film. However, under all that mythic and archetypical storytelling, James Gunn wanted the film to be about human beings first. For this, the director took some cues from another film about an iconic character, whose film managed to balance the mythic and mundane to an amazing degree. Speaking with Cinema Today, he said, "My goal is to make a film that depicts Godzilla like Godzilla -1, but also has a great human drama. Superman and the flying dog, Krypto, also appear in this film, but at its core is a human story. The relationship between Clark Kent, Lois Lane, and the villain, Lex Luthor, is at the core of the work." James Gunn's focus on Clark Kent in his film is perhaps to show what makes him Superman. It has long been argued on what makes Superman a symbol of hope, with many agreeing that it largely comes down to one thing: how he was raised on a Kansas farm with loving parents, who taught him right from wrong, good from bad, and trusted him to make a better world. not because he was an alien with the powers of a god, but because he was a good man. Then, there is Clark Kent, the farm boy from Kansas who just wants to make a better world, with or without special powers. This is the character that's making his appearance in James Gunn's Superman. When Kal-El is Superman, you get a brooding alien god who is trying to find his place in the world. When Clark Kent is Superman, you get a man who can do extraordinary things, deciding to fight for truth, justice, and a better tomorrow. James Gunn is heavily entrenched in the latter interpretation, which shines through brilliantly in the footage that has been shared so far. Superman is not a single entity. When we isolate him, we can find an amalgamation of a few distinct identities. There is Kal-El, the alien among humans, who has a tough time relating to what human beings go through and how they look at him. This was at the forefront of Zack Snyder's version of the character, who was very aware of his distinct identity from human beings. Henry Cavill may no longer portray Superman on the big screen, but there is still hope that he could join James Gunn's DC Universe as Ultraman. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. James Gunn's Superman is just around the corner, but there are still so many mysterious details that fans could only figure out once the movie hits the cinemas. For one, who is the guy in a black suit with a U-shaped logo on his chest in the movie's teaser trailer? Henry Cavill's exit from DCU shocked not only him but fans around the world. Just when everyone was expecting a major comeback from the Man of Steel himself, all hopes were snuffed out in one go. The actor was even tasked to deliver the sad news that he's finally hanging up the suit for good. As James Gunn took over the revamped DC Universe, there was not a hint that Cavill would somehow return. This was further confirmed after David Corenswet was hired to play the new Superman. Is there really no more chance for Cavill to join the DCU? Besides, Gunn brought a couple of characters and storylines from the Snyderverse as part of his plans for narrative continuity. Since Ultraman technically comes from the multiverse plane, it's perfectly possible to bring Cavill into the fold. That's Ultraman, and we know the character from the comics as the villain form of Superman, an alternate version of him from Earth 3. This place is the hub for the evil and corrupted counterparts of the main heroes. With that, the antagonist essentially possesses the same Kryptonian powers as Superman, making him a formidable opponent. The actor who plays the masked character remains unknown, but Henry Cavill, who previously played the titular role in the DCU, would make a good choice for the part. Giving this role to Cavill would bridge the old and the new DC movie franchises. Cavill isn't necessarily bringing his version of the last son of Krypton into the DCU, but isn't it a great way for Cavill to properly bid goodbye to his character, even though he's in evil form? He was clearly devastated by how things turned out for his career as Superman, and Gunn could at least give us a very satisfying twist in his upcoming movie by revealing that Cavill plays Ultraman. Not only are we getting a major duel scene, but Cavill could finally bow out from the franchise with pride, far from his abrupt exit in 2022. Another reason why Cavill must play Ultraman is that by this decision, he is also officially closing the DCU chapter. As Gunn's era heralds a new Superman, we now accept that David Corenswet is the new face of the hero, which naturally requires an epic showdown against Cavill's Ultraman. Since we know that good always triumphs, Superman's defeat of Ultraman would be a symbolic transition done in the most cinematic way.